Kitsap County is constructing a new project to extend sewer services to 121 homes in the Manchester area. This video presents information for the property owners included in the expansion of the sewer services. This is a map of the project area. The lots in green, and outlined in darker green, will have the ability to connect to the sewer once construction on this project is complete. Construction will extend sewer down Colchester Drive and include a force main and a pump station. Project components include a pressurized force main, gravity pipe, and a pump station placed on county property, outlined in red. Side sewers to connect to homes, and individual grinder pumps for homes on the shoreline that require sewage pumped up into the system. Construction on this project is slated to begin in spring of 2017. There are key points for property owners to consider when deciding if they want to connect to sewer services once the project is completed. The county has been awarded funding by the Department of Ecology in the form of a loan of $432,000 that can be used for design and permitting for the project. The loan is funded at 2.4% interest and repaid over 20 years, and a $4.56 million centennial grant that can only be used for construction costs. A utility local improvement district, or ULID as they are known, is a financial tool available for property owners within the proposed project limits. The ULID allows property owners to spread their costs over a 20-year period. Property owners that participate in the ULID also have access to any excess grant funds, which then can be used to offset individual property costs. Property owners need to decide if they're going to connect to sewer service once it becomes available. If you do not connect, you will not incur any costs. In the rest of this presentation, we'll explain the costs associated with connecting to the sewer system and also the options of self-financing these costs or connecting via the ULID. The purpose of this project is to help protect the Yukon Harbor Shellfish area. This project addresses a history of fecal coliform hotspots along the shoreline and in streams by providing an alternative to replacing on-site septic systems, some of which are 20 years or older. The county received grant funding from the Department of Ecology to improve these environmental issues. The total property owner cost to connect to sewer includes three elements: common infrastructure costs, individual property costs, and a newcomer's fee. The common infrastructure costs consist of the pump station and sewer pipes in the street. The cost for property owners, which includes a portion of the design and permit costs, are $8,500 per parcel if the property owner decides to connect. Current estimated costs of construction are $3.3 million. Grant funding from the Department of Ecology for $4.56 million may be used for construction only. If grant funds remain once construction is completed, those funds can be used to offset costs to property owners. These numbers are estimates and may increase or decrease. The other costs to property owners include the individual property connection costs and a newcomer fee. The individual property connection costs are the costs of construction on your property. This is different than the cost to build the common infrastructure. These are the costs that connect your home to the common infrastructure. Of the 121 lots within the project area, 79 are below the sewer and will require individual grinder pumps. The cost to connect for these lots, including one of the pumps, is estimated at $23,000. For the remaining lots that do not require a pump, the cost to connect is estimated at $9,500. The individual property connection fee includes the cost to decommission existing on-site septic systems and restore landscaping. Those who choose to connect to the system will also be required to pay a $4,700 newcomer fee. This is due as a lump sum and is paid by the property owner. If property owners connect within the ULID, these costs, with the exception of the newcomer fee, could be offset by remaining grant funds. We talked about the estimated $8,500 per parcel common infrastructure cost for those who choose to connect. There are a few ways to pay these infrastructure costs. If a property owner is part of a ULID and decides to connect to the sewer system, the home is connected as part of the Public Works project. Property owners then have the option to pay their portion of common infrastructure costs over a 20-year period. Any ecology grant funds remaining after construction may be divided between property owners in the ULID to help offset costs. If a property owner does not connect as part of the ULID, there is the option of connecting after the project is complete. This is called a latecomer assessment. In this case, the property owner pays a certified side sewer contractor to connect the home to the sewer system. Latecomers do not have the 20-year financing option included in the ULID. Latecomers do not share in offsetting costs with ecology grant funds remaining after construction. If a property owner decides not to connect to the sewer system, they incur no costs. The same options are available for paying individual property connection costs. If a property owner participates in the ULID, the county contracts the connection work on the owner's behalf. This requires a temporary construction easement on the property to grant access to the county's contractor. The cost of this connection, estimated at $9,500 for direct connections and $23,000 for properties that need a grinder pump, is added to the ULID assessment. The newcomer fee of $4,700 must be paid as a lump sum and cannot be rolled into the assessment. If there are grant funds remaining after construction, property owners may reduce these costs with the remaining grant funds. A latecomer assessment allows property owners to connect to the sewer via the permit process after the construction is complete. The property owner would incur all individual property costs and cannot take advantage of the 20-year financing offered by the ULID. And just like with the common infrastructure costs, if the homeowner decides not to connect to the sewer system, their cost is zero. A utility local improvement district is a financial tool that's formed to split costs among those who benefit. Only those who choose to connect within the 121 lot area benefit through the ULID. Within the ULID, the property owner can pay sewer connection costs by lump sum after construction is complete, or they can finance these costs over 20 years at a low interest rate. The ULID is formed by resolution from the Kitsap Board of County Commissioners. If 40% of the property by area objects in writing, the ULID is stopped. Property owners will receive a form from the county. They need to sign this form if they want to connect to the sewer via the ULID process. The county will send these forms out to property owners and will be asking property owners to complete these forms and return back to us by the end of April. A public hearing and the resolution action occurs at one of June's Kitsap Board of County Commissioners' regular meetings. This chart provides an overview of the costs associated with connecting to the sewer and the different options for property owners to consider. All property owners that connect are required to pay a newcomer fee that is currently $4,700 to connect to the sewer. This is paid in a lump sum by the property owner. If a property owner decides to connect after construction is complete, they pay the fee in effect at the time of connection. If the property owner decides not to connect, they incur no costs. The next cost is design and permitting, which is estimated to be $8,500 per parcel. This cost will remain the same for those that connect within 20 years. For those not connecting, the cost is zero. The cost of the sewer connection differs depending on your lot location. For those that connect with a gravity pipe, the cost is $9,500. For properties that require a grinder pump, the cost is estimated to be $23,000. We will be contacting property owners that need grinder pumps and providing additional information about the pumps. We also will host informational meetings to explain grinder pumps and how they're used in this project. If you decide to connect to the sewer system after construction is completed, you will pay the prevailing market price to a certified contractor to connect to the sewer. If you decide not to connect to the system, you incur no costs. If the ecology grant funding does not cover all the common infrastructure costs during construction, the remaining costs are divided between the 121 lots. When the property is connected, the owner pays their proportional share. If the property owner decides not to connect to the system, they incur no costs. As we have said, there are two ways to pay these common infrastructure costs. Property owners connecting within the ULID are able to finance costs over 20 years or pay a lump sum. Remember, this does not include the newcomer fee, which is always paid as a lump sum. If a property owner is not part of the ULID and decides to connect within 20 years, all costs must be paid as a lump sum to the county. And, as always, if a property owner decides not to connect, they incur no costs. So why should you connect to a sewer system? Well, sewers can be better for the environment and they help protect water quality. That's why we're able to receive a grant from the Department of Ecology for this project. Connecting to sewer helps reduce the foul odors associated with septic systems. And when you connect to a sewer system, you increase your usable yard space. This diagram illustrates how a lot can be used with a septic system or a sewer connection. Each lot shown is approximately 1/4 acre. The lot with a septic system requires space for the septic tank, a drain field, and secondary drain field. Plants with large root structures should not be planted in the drain field, and the area cannot be used for buildings or for parking vehicles. Plants may be established in a secondary drain field, but non-edible plants only. With a sewer connection, the drain fields that were limited in use are now available for any type of garden, the area available for parking vehicles, building structures, or other potential uses. Here's a recap of the key points in this presentation. We talked about common infrastructure costs and funding available for these costs. We have obtained a low-interest Department of Ecology loan of $432,000. We've also received a Department of Ecology Centennial grant for $4.56 million, which can only be used for construction. We talked about forming a ULID by resolution through the Board of County Commissioners. This financial tool allows some costs to be paid in a lump sum or financed over the 20-year period. The ULID also allows any excess grant funds after construction to be distributed to help offset individual property owner costs. And we talked about the decision that each property owner in the improvement area must make as part of this project. If the owner decides not to connect to the sewer, they incur no costs. A property owner may decide to connect and self-finance the cost, or the property owner may decide to connect via the ULID and take advantage of the opportunity to spread the majority of connection costs over a 20-year period. Over the next several months, there are important steps in bringing this project together. After we contact all property owners within the 121 lot project area, we'll focus on the 79 lots that require individual grinder pumps. We'll provide detailed information and conduct informational meetings to help these property owners better understand the project. You will soon receive a form asking you to make a decision on the proposed ULID. You will need to respond to this form by April 30th with your decision. After these forms are collected, the Kitsap Board of County Commissioners will hold a ULID public hearing at one of their regular June meetings, either June 13th or June 27th. If there is no written objection by 40% of the property area, the board will pass a resolution to form the ULID. The next step is designing the project and going through the permitting process. We'll continue to engage property owners during this time and involve them during the project design. We expect to start construction in spring of 2017. The ecology grant requires the project to be completed by December 31st, 2018. The current goal is to complete the project by the end of 2018. When construction is complete, a final ULID assessment that reflects the actual costs and any available excess funding is distributed. If a homeowner decides to connect to sewer after the construction project and ULID assessment, they will pay the different costs based on a latecomer assessment. Please contact us if you have any questions or would like more information on this project.